recording. Does everybody see my screen now? Good. Let me see if I can get the questions. Hello, hello. Okay, if you have any issues with hearing me, let me know you can hear me okay. If you have any questions at any point, just type at me. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of people, so I can't turn your volume on. If there were just a few people, I'd be able to do that, but it'd be best off if you were to just type at me in the questions box. I can't turn on your microphones. Oh, thank you. Nice to be back after all this time. I told Wilcom that I was my most popular webinars were when I actually did digitizing. Especially people were impressed when I took some bad art and fixed that up. So let me guess we're good to go here. There is my name. There is my email address. If you want to have any questions or whatever to send me, if you have quick questions, I can maybe respond to you. Again, this is being recorded. Now, I have no control. I'm just a trainer. I have no control over what they do with these recordings after I send them to Wilcom. From what I understand, just recently, they have to go through Australia. I guess Australia may have to review them before they put them on the on their website. So I don't know how or when this is going to be up on the up on their website. So. What I want to do is I have actually a total of 3 designs we can look at today, and we're going to do a little bit of all of them. And 2 of them actually have good art. They're all pretty simple, so it's not like I'm going to, we're going to get something done today. And so 2 of them are good art, and 1 is bad art. 1 is art that was sent to me from a forwarded email. You can't hear anything. I don't know. Everybody else can hear me, I believe. So if somebody can't hear me, that might be on your, maybe turn the volume on your computer. Try that. I think everybody else can hear me. Can everybody else hear me? Okay, I think yeah, everybody else can hear me, so it must be on your end. Just try to turn on the volume on your speakers. See, there's a volume control on the speaker or the computer, or a combination of both. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so again, we have 3 designs today that we're going to look at, and yeah, one is bad art, and 2 are good. Though again, the one that was bad, or not really bad, it's just a text design. It was sent to me, it was forwarded to me in an email, and somebody had like their logo in it that's normally in their email, maybe like their signature that was added in. It's not bad. I don't know if it's always in their email, but I can't show you that because it has contact information. All I can do is tell you about it, and you can just imagine it. But that was what was sent to me, and it's simple enough where I can work off of it. It's just a text logo, so we'll go with that. A lot of people still use Photoshop, and some people use Corel Photo Paint. If anyone wants to type at me, I'm going to try to up the resolution. I can either do it in Photoshop, which I have here. I've done it before in Photo Paint. If somebody wants to type at me with any kind of preference, I usually use Photoshop, but Corel Photo Paint, which I know you guys all have, comes with it. So no preference. We'll just do it in Photoshop today, and maybe I'll do it in both actually. So let's start with Photoshop. And let me turn this off here. Corel, please. Okay, well, Corel. Somebody said something. We'll go to Corel. Corel, please. Okay. So we'll get out of this, and let's open up Corel Photo Paint. Didn't even have this open before. So it came through in an email, embedded in an email, and it was a PNG file. And we're going to, what's happening here? Let's close this down. It was a PNG file. Let me find it in the customers folder here. I have everything in here in customer folders. So if you're a new customer, you know how many designs I do for you, you get your own folder, and that's how I store things, and that's how I recommend everybody do it. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. It's a PNG file, and it's a law firm. And you can tell just by bringing it up in Corel here, in Corel Photo Paint, it's not very big, so you can tell probably right away that the resolution is not going to be very good. You're in for something that's going to be around 72 DPI or 96 DPI or something like that. Nothing real impressive. So, and I think we go up here to image. Again, when I first got this, it came through in there. It was a forwarded email from this law firm. and it had their contact information on the right. Now, I'm not sure I didn't check with them if they want to do any advertising for me. It's from here in Cleveland, Ohio, if they want to do any advertising. But there it is. If you're in anywhere near the Cleveland area, you need a law firm, you can call them. But I already cropped out over to the right their contact information. I don't want to show you that, but that's all I did with it. I didn't change the resolution or make this any better. So once we are in Corel here, to up the resolution, I believe we go over to resample, and there is the size in millimeters. Everything we do pretty much in embroidery is millimeters, or it's on the metric system, at least for measurements. Get used to it. That's what I use. By the way, I'm coming at you from snowy Cleveland, Ohio. My kids actually had school today, and they were none too pleased about it because they used up all their snow days. So as you can see, as to be expected, it was sent to me in screen resolution, also known as 72 dpi, which is pretty bad. Again, we got lucky today because it's just a simple text logo. So what we're going to do is just change the value here to 300, and it looks like identical values is clicked on. So we go from 72 dpi to 300. It helps. It's not ideal. You like to get an EPS file to get perfect resolution and set it any way you want, but you're going to get a better image even if you go and add some resolution dots to it, even this way. Maybe kind of like spray painting over rust, but you know, at the end, it's going to help. It's going to be good enough. It might get you through a car show. You just got to get you, if you got a hot date that night and your car is kind of rusty, you don't have time to go do all the body work to do it right. You maybe want to take some spray paint over it, spray paint over the rust. It won't last too long, but it just has to get you through the night. That's all we have to do until we digitize it, and it's not going to matter. So that's my analogy for taking bad art. If you're in the world of digitizing, you will get a lot of bad art. There's not much you can do about it. I'll warn you about that right now. You can ask customers all day, I need something better to digitize with. They're going to say, this is all I have. And whose problem is it? It's yours. It's very frustrating, but sometimes you can get better art. Every once in a while, somebody will say, oh, okay, I'll go check on that. And on somebody's computer, they may have an EPS or a PDF file, but normally you're going to have to deal with it. Now, there are sometimes it's going to be so bad you won't be able to do anything with it, and that's okay too. You can say to them, there's nothing I can do with this artwork if it's so bad, or you can say, I'll try to slap something together. Normally they're going to come back to you and say, just do your best. Please don't make me work any harder getting this artwork. They just don't like doing that. They just want you to do the best with what they send you. A lot of times I've been getting people taking pictures with their cell phones of garments, and they're not even straight on. I said, well, this isn't right. This isn't straight on. This is not going to be perfect. They don't care. They said, just do your best. And you'd be surprised at how little they complain about the bad artwork they send. It seems like when they send bad artwork, they realize it may not be perfect. So all you can do is do your best with whatever artwork people send you. Okay. Now we're going to continue. We've got the resolutions raised. Now we're going to came through as a PNG. We're going to save it as a JPEG. This seems to be what Wilcom likes the best. I'm not going to go back and forth between Corel and Wilcom. I'm going to save it and then import it. So we're going to do it like kind of the old-fashioned way. So we're going to go to Save As, and we're going to find the right directory. Everything Wilcom makes a design directory. You can see the long list of customers I've got, because this is like every customer I've ever had for how many years I've been doing, all the way back since '96. So let's call it something else, DeCello 2. And we are going to click Save here. Object we work with background. Okay, whatever, sure. Let's hope it comes out right. This is very basic Corel stuff, just upping the resolution. Once you hit OK, you come up with this box, and I think everything should be go. We had our resolution set, and since this is photo paint, it just saves it. And I'm just going to hit OK again, and we should be good to go. So let's close this down. It's already 4:12. So we are going to go now to to my outline here, and let's get rid of this. Let's go to New. And we're in New here. So we've got a blank screen. Now, if you have any questions about this screen, I don't know how, it depends on how long you've had your software, how much or how long you've been digitizing. I've had people come to my webinars that have been digitizing like as long as I have, for like 15 years. They just want to see, a refresher, not a refresher, they just want to see how somebody else makes designs or how somebody else uses the software. And I'm sure some of you have just got the software recently and have never actually digitized anything. So if you have any questions about the setup of my screen here, you can go and ask that. Since I've been doing this since, well, the first Wilcom software that was on-screen digitizing was about 1992 or 1993, and didn't have, and this is kind of, my screen may actually resemble that a little bit. I only put stuff on the screen that I actually use. Let me show you real quick. If you go click on a blank toolbar space here. So I'm going to put my mouse right on this blank toolbar space here and right click, and you've got, it comes up with all the different bars you could put in there. Shiftly, resequence, sequence. I don't need any of that up there. I don't use any styles. I change that as I go along. And then we've got the zoom, even there I don't have that up. I got to kind of keep it to a minimum. Then we can go over here and click on toolbox flyouts, and this stuff comes up. And I think if you want to do it, you just right click on, my mouse is sitting over edit tools. Watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to right click over it, and the edit tools come up. I don't want that up there. Create special. I'm not even sure what comes up. That you don't need all this on the screen. I have that. I can get to this stuff if I need to, but I don't need the special toolbar set up for that. I have the vector tools, as you can see, to select and reshape. I would recommend maybe putting the bare minimum of tools and tool stuff, on the screen. That's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. Back when I started this, way back when, you're lucky to have a 14-inch monitor. Right now I'm using, this is actually a television that's 32 inches. Now, you can't use all of that real estate when you're using a computer for some reason. You're using your TV as a computer, it's cropped a little bit, but I think the screen turns out to be, even though it's a 32-inch TV, it turns out to be about 28.5 diagonal, which is pretty good size. So basically, on the screen, the monitor I'm looking at is 28.5 inches diagonal. So that's pretty big, and I still like to limit the amount of toolbars and tools and icons that I have on the screen. So let me get another drink here, and we'll continue. Okay. If you have any questions about the way I have this thing laid out, just let me know. Over here we have the vector tools. We're not going to be using that today. The stuff that we use day in, day out is, well, pretty much just about everything up here, except for maybe, we've got stuff up here we're not going to send to machine. No, I'm not going to use that. We're going to use import graphic first. And over here we've got the toolbar up here. These are my stitch types set up. You just click your mouse over it, and it gives you, not only it tells you what it is, it gives you a good description, and it works well. Today we're going to be using stitch type of a satin stitch, a tatami stitch, a zigzag stitch. We're not going to use the E-stitch, and more of this fancy stuff over here. But this all comes in its own toolbar, and you want to leave that up. Over here we have the run stitch. We have the run, we have the triple run, and the manual, and then we have our select tools over here and editing stuff, but we'll get to that in a little bit. To start making that simple design that we were looking at before, the first thing we do is go, let's take a look at the menus real quick. We have File. Lots of stuff comes up when you pull down on this. File is the typical kind of stuff you'd see in any Windows program, except for this stuff to send it out to the machine and stuff like that. Otherwise, the edit looks, well, we've got the undo, the paste, and all that. And yeah, more stuff is probably unique to just digitizing. Design properties, and I don't use, I don't use any of this auto fabric stuff. I do use the hoop to look at to check the size of something. If you're on the fence about a design fitting in a certain hoop, yeah, this is a very useful. It's actually a simple feature, but it's very useful. And the stuff we'll get to we'll get to later. Most of the stuff in the menus is stuff that's found on here on the screen. So Without any further explanation of the software, I'm going to start digitizing here that simple design. So first thing we do is to import graphic. I want to bring that bad piece of art I made. That you're going to click on import graphic, and we're going to look for it. Now I saved it in the customers directory. So let's go up there so you have it all alphabetical. As you can see, I've had a lot of different customers over the years. Some are with me for a short time, some go out of business, and some are still with me many, many years later. So let's find it. Okay, it's called Dicello 2. We're going to click on that, and as soon as you click on that, we have we get a preview coming up of the actual art right here. I can see that's what we want, so I'm going to click on Open, and there we have it. Now, when you bring this up from Photoshop or Corel, the size of it is good. It keeps it 1:1, whereas for some reason, anytime you save anything, sorry, I may have to cough in a little bit. I'm not used to talking this much. I work alone. So whenever you save something in Photoshop, which is, I'll show that real quick, it blows it up for some reason. It has something to do with Photoshop and Wilcom, and you have to go and be careful of the size, but it really doesn't matter because we're going to teach you how to set the size right here. I just blew it up for a second. Let's say the artwork comes in very big. Let's say it comes in jacket back size. I want to make it a left chest size, and just from my experience, we don't want to make this thing 4 inches. It would be huge. Maybe in 3.5 inches might be a little large also. We are going to do all this text by hand because let's say we don't have the font, and we're going to show you how long it takes to do all this text just by hand, and it will match up perfectly. So no one can say, hey, that's not the right font. The heck it's not. It's right off your artwork. It's exactly the right font. So you have that. You can say that. Well, actually, if you do it the way I'm going to show you, they won't complain because it will be exactly the right font, and they'll be able to notice that. Plus, we notice we have probably could be the same font here. That's bold. That's not. That's something in between. It's probably a different font. So anyway, the next point here is to set the size. Let's say I want to make it. I got to drink something again. We have this thing. Well, it's selected. I want to make it maybe 3.25 wide, or let's say maybe 85 millimeters wide. So we have our artwork selected. Doesn't matter where it is. We click on that. I'm going to go to Edit. Okay, everybody pay attention. We go to Edit and scroll down here to where it says Transform. We want to click on Transform by Reference Line Numerically. We're going to click on that. I'm going to zoom in here. Oops, didn't want to do that. I'm going to zoom out here, zoom in again. Okay, I'm going to draw a line from here all the way to here. Now it asks me, I said I wanted to make it around 85 millimeters wide. I'm going to click Resize To, and I'm going to click 85 right there, and I'm going to press Enter, and we have the new size. What that means is the distance between here and here is about 85 millimeters, a little over 3.25 inches. Okay, does that make sense to everybody so far? Okay, no questions? Okay, haven't done much yet. Let's see. Let's measure some stuff out here. To measure something, you go click on the M key. Click on the M key to measure something. We're going to measure from there. Oops, try this again. Measure from there to there. It's about 1.5 inches tall. That's okay. I have some small text here. Let's measure that. Click on the M key and click go from there to there. That's a little over 5. That's very small, but you know what? We can deal with that. It's not too small. It'll be legible once we're done. Now this is a left chest design, but you know what I'm going to do? I am going to work this from the center out just in case they want to put this on a hat at some later time. I don't have to go in and redo it like an idiot because I didn't think about doing it from the center out in the first place. So I'm going to move this. You can move, before we start putting stitches on, we can just move this over anywhere we want. I'm going to select a different color. Right now, the color 1 defaults to a dark blue. We're not going to use that. You want to digitize in a color that's different than the artwork. So we're going to click on red. Just for it doesn't really matter. colors here are neither here nor, the colors on the screen, or these palette colors, are neither here nor there, because in the world of embroidery, it's all in the codes, color codes, that's it. Okay. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to start, this is something I've been doing for years because Walter Floriani told me to do it. He says, go and click down your manual tool right here, your manual stitch. What the manual stitch is, every time I go and click my mouse, my left click gives me a stitch. Not a fancy stitch type. We're going to use it for maybe, sometimes you may use it for outlining. I'm going to use it for tying in and maybe doing a manual tie off. And that's going to be about it. So watch closely. We're going to do this W, and then we're going to go this W from the center to the left. Then we're going to do the word firm. Okay, and it's all going to look just like this artwork. So we're going to click on the manual. I'm going to start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I press enter, and what I noticed it did is it went to the center. I have automatic start and end turned on, so we're going to turn that off. Let me move this down. Turn that off. Okay. So this next thing I like to do, and it's just something I like to do, is a lot of times I'll put a manual underlay in there instead of the automatic underlay. But I'll show you the automatic underlay in a little bit. So there's my manual underlay, and that is with the running stitch. So far we have two different stitch types we've used so far. Application. We have no use. Okay, we tied in right here. I pressed down, then I used the manual stitch or the running stitch to put some underlay in here. We may add some more automatic underlay in a little bit. Simple design, but just about every design you do will have some custom text in there. So we've used two stitch types so far. We're going to go to the third one. Now, these stitch types have been around forever, since I've been around all the way back in the early 90s doing this. We're going to select input A with our satin stitch. All input A goes back and forth, which is great because the satin stitch is just a column stitch that goes back and forth. I don't know how much percentage of embroidery, 60-70% of all embroidery is just made up of a column stitch. So let's get to it. Let's make this W. I might just hang up on these people here. Sorry. Okay, let's continue on. We're going to go pairs of points. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And when I get down here, I'm going to press enter, and voila, we have pairs of points. Let me just finish up doing this W because you've been sitting here listening to me babble for long enough. We're going to get something done here. I am going to just not do anything, but I can still have my input A and my satin stitch selected. I'm going to start from here and go 1, 2, 1, 2, and maybe hit enter again. Voila! I didn't go. Let me undo that and show you why I didn't go here. You may be beginners may be inclined to go down here and go 1, 2, 1, 2. But look what you did. You're going to have. You can see on the screen here. There's an actual one-to-one representation. Every line in here is an actual stitch. So whatever you see is an actual stitch. We don't want that line here. We want to go from here down to here. So I'm going to undo that and do it again for you the right way. So input A, we're going to go from here to here, 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 and that's called capping. So we're going to cap that off and we continue. So we're going to start here. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to start here and go back and forth, and I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to go start on this side, right? I'm not going to start on this side. I'm going to start on this side. Back and forth, press enter. And we're going to finish up here, and within a few seconds we'll be done with this W. Just pressing enter there. And up we go. Let's see if this is even. Yeah, it's pretty even. If you don't like it, you can always modify it with your node tool here. If you don't like anything you did, you can go back and change anything. Okay, so we finally have something done here. We have a W done. So if you want to, we have a big distance between here and here. We're definitely going to tie off and trim. We're going to do this manually. I mean, not manually. We're going to do this automatically, the easy way, the quick way. Up here, I don't even know what this. I'm not sure. This is a function toolbar that I have right on the screen. Definitely a must-have on your screen is this toolbar here, because look at what we're going to do here. We're going to go up here and say Insert Tie Off. Okay, put a tie off. You can see it right there. And now we're going to trim, and we are good to go to do the word, to finish the A, and then do the L. I think once maybe we'll do a little bit of this firm here, and then we're going to move on to the next design, the next simple design. I'm sure you guys are all having fun. You've been here almost a half hour. Is everybody having fun? Okay. We're going to tie in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I'm doing here is just attach. We're penetrating the fabric and attaching the thread to the bobbin and giving it a few chances to do that. Once that's done, you're good to go. What I didn't explain before is also this manual underlay that I'm putting in here. This running stitch underlay also acts as the opportunity to attach the backing to the fabric. You want to attach, usually you're going to be using some thick cutaway backing. You're going to want to attach that because now it sews as one. The purpose of backing is to strengthen the fabric. Well, it really can't do that until it's attached. So we're going to attach that, and then we're going to go from there. So now the backing and the fabric, are as one. So that's my story. First thing on an A is to go do the crossbar. You're going to go select the running stitch here, and maybe some more underlay, and back up to where we were. And it's going to do auto scroll, and then we're going to cap the top of it. Then we're going to start here and go down, auto scroll, and we're going to press enter. Now we've also done our closest point. We are not going to tie off and trim here. We're going to continue. We are going to continue this. We're going to put some automatic or manual underlay here and do the L. We're going to go down here and make the curve, and we're going to finish up and go hit enter. Now let's take a look at what we have. We have 3 letters, not quite perfect. I don't know if I like this. You can tell by on the screen it's not quite right, and you will get that especially when you're using bad art. Things just may not look right. You may have to go back and edit. So turn off the hit this button right here, show bitmaps and settings. You're going to turn that off and see what you've got ahead of you. And I can see a few things I just don't like. Maybe I don't like that this underlay is sticking out, so I grab the node tool up here and move that down. Why is this a different? Well, it's a different height on purpose. Give you a quick lesson on push and pull. As this A and this W is sewing back and forth, let me park this right here. Pay attention, everybody. Look at the direction it's sewing. It's going back and forth, and it's moving up. Okay, what it's doing is it's pushing that fabric out. So, but what we have here is the opposite on this L. It's going to pull the fabric in. So we have 2 different issues we're dealing with here. We have pushing this fabric up, making this A taller and this V taller. And we have, when you go in this direction, it pulls that fabric in. As the machine sews back and forth like this, what is it doing? What it's doing is taking that fabric and grabbing that fabric. It's taking the needle and using thread, and it's pulling that fabric in. It's attaching here, and it goes back and forth. It's pulling it in. It's shrinking that. You may not realize that when you watch it sew. That's exactly what it's doing. And what we do here is we compensate for push and pull. So when you have an A next to an L, that A should be shorter than that L. So hopefully, maybe this is a little too much. As I look at it without the artwork, it's like a tad too much. So I'm going to grab that entire L and move it up a little more like this. But the reason that A is taller or is shorter, there's less of an A than that L right there. This right here is going to pull in. This L will be shorter. It won't go all the way down, whereas this A will push out and be taller. So if you ever do lettering, make sure, sew it out, watch it, and make sure. Hopefully when you're done sewing, the theory is on push and pull that once you get done sewing, this is even. Let me draw a line here. that the A is even with the L. In fact, maybe I don't want to do that. I want to put some of this pull comp back. So that may be more of what I want. Let me put a line here temporarily to see what's going on here. The W and the A are shorter, that L is longer. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of push and pull before? If you want to talk at me, the experienced ones have. The inexperienced ones, if you're just new to digitizing and new to embroidery, you will see embroidery out there with lettering on it where the letters are a different height. They bounce all over the place. Why is that? Well, because when they made the letters, they did not make them. They went off the artwork that they made it as, and they did not compensate for push and pull like this. On the screen, their letters were probably all the right size. That is not what you want. You want your letters to be different. And I see another issue that I have to do here. So I can just grab this and make this taller. We want this, which is pulling out, measure. We want this to be the same height on the top here, okay? Up here we have the issue of push, and down here we have the issue of pull, okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? I'm telling you, here's your homework. Go look at embroidery. If you see some bad embroidery anywhere where there is a bunch of lettering on a cap, on a shirt or something, if you see several garments that are embroidered with text, you will notice that if there's something like a W next to, let's say, an F like this, that W will look taller than that F because they did not compensate for push and pull. On their screen, all their letters were the same height. Not what you want. If it looks they're all the same height on the screen, you screwed up. Okay, that's my story on that, and I'm sticking to it. Let's just do maybe the FI, and then we'll continue on to my next exciting design today. So we're going to do this thin letter here. Maybe let's do firm. I'm just going to haul through this, and we'll. What I like to do when I teach digitizing is show you how fast you can get a design done. That's what I'm going to do here. So we've got our F. And when you zoom in on here, you see, their art's still kind of bad. It's not ideal. So you get to see what we have to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Running stitch right here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Maybe in my next design, I'm going to show you some automatic underlay. Alrighty, and then we will tie off, trim. No questions yet? Okay. I think there's a guy here from my hometown. I think he's here. I saw his name being registered. Okay, we're just going to do this manual underlay in here, and we're going to finish up. Again, I'm not going all the way to the bottom here. This part up here, it's going to be a little taller when it's all said and done, I hope. If not, once you have something, especially when you're having something with bad art, you kind of go and check that when you're done. When you're all completed, turn off get rid of this bad art, and look what you have. Look what you made. I have some play and can't follow your mouse movements. I'm moving very quickly. That's probably why. Right now, you don't need to move the mouse movements. You don't need to see every mouse movement because I'm just doing left and right here, back and forth. I'll explain it in a second. Also, I am using a tablet. I'm not using a mouse. That makes me go a lot quicker also. So if you start to do digitizing even more and your hand starts to hurt, you may want to go and get a tablet. I used to use an expensive Wilcom tablet, and for some reason their driver doesn't jive with my computer and Wilcom. I would tap the close points with a left click and it wouldn't see them all. So I figured, well, for $50 or less than $50, and went on the internet and got this mono price. I can't believe how cheap this thing is. The thing works for what we're using it here. You need all the fancy features like tilt and what else? Like levels of pressure to do digitizing. We need a medium-sized tablet. The one I have is an 8x6, and I paid under $50 for it. It even came with two different pens. And it seems to work for what I need it for, as well as the Wilcom. And it doesn't have the driver issues that the Wilcom had. So I'll do this M a little slower so you can follow the mouse movements. Here we have, we're going to input A, not input A, manual stitch. What is the name again? Oh, monoprice. They have different names for it. It's like made in China, and then a few times I'm going to say something made in China is of good quality. Monoprice or Huon, I can't even pronounce that. But if you go on Amazon, you maybe type in 8x6 graphics tablet, you'll see it. And if someone starts mocking, well, it's only $45, how good could it be? Or it's only $60, how good could it be? You'll get the last laugh, believe me. So we're going to tie off on this and go to and trim, and we're going to go to the input A. Watch this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is good enough. I'm just going to use my running stitch to go up, and we're going to come back. We're going to come back, come back, come back. We want this to be the same height as this one. And I'm just using the scroll, and it's kind of tough probably to watch it on the GoToMeeting stuff here. I'm hitting enter. Now, the reason I'm not hitting enter on the keyboard. There's an enter key programmed on my pen. These pens, no matter whether you buy Wilcom or you buy a cheaper one, they all come with programmable pens. So you left click is the tapping like you would a pencil, and then it's got a button on there, or got a little 2 buttons on there. It looks like 1 button, but it's actually 2, a top and a bottom button. One I have programmed for right click, and the other I have programmed for enter. I mean, in the world of digitizing, you are just tapping and clicking all day, hitting buttons. You're not really drawing. Whereas if in Corel or Photoshop, yeah, you're dragging, you're drawing. We don't do that here. We're just tapping the heck out of this tablet, I don't know, probably 10,000 times a day. Who knows? Hard to say. Like on the button, my bottom button, hitting it with the middle finger here, enter. Scrolling down, just auto scrolling, going back and forth with the bottom button, hitting enter. Now, again, when I said when you're done, you want to look at it and see what you have here. It actually came out better than I thought as far as the push and pull. We have that R. I think it's supposed to be considerably taller. Again, if you don't like this stuff, you may sew it out and it may look absolutely fine. But otherwise you may want to move it over. Like if this bar doesn't look thick enough, just grab it with the node tool. That works the same as like Corel, and move that over. Again, the node tool is this thing over here. To do editing, even doing simple editing with the node tool, you're going to want to learn that on the first day. So we go and grab this, and we go into my phone's going to ring here, and I have to pick it up for a second, so I have to stall you. We're going to go past 5 o'clock anyway. So again, I'm going to have to put you on hold for a second. Don't go anywhere. Believe it or not, I have to take this call. Yes. Can you wait till, I'm in the middle of training. Can you wait a little while, or are you in a hurry? Okay, I'll be up when I can. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, well, let's continue. I didn't take very long. Again, you want to learn this the first day, is the reshape tool, and then you get all your original nodes back and you can move them around. So let's say you're not quite thrilled with what you have on the screen. You can go and just move it around till you are. So let's say we're done with that. We're done with that word. I did a lot of talking here. We got the word law firm done, and it's going to be exactly to the the font, the specifications of the artwork. So that's any questions about that? No? Okay. Again, type at me if you want any more questions about that. Let's move on to the next design, which I think. Oh, you have a question? Or you wanna? Okay. Or we're just gonna move on. Okay. What do you think about converting original JPEG to line art, then digitize each letter using? I don't use that. This is the way I prefer to do it. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways. I haven't checked that out too much. So maybe we'll see how it works. Cool. Using each letter. I don't know. No, how long did this take me? I ran my mouth, explained push and pull. It didn't take me very long. Is any trims? Do you let the software? I inserted trims right up here. I did it quickly. There's tie off, and then there's trim right here with the. No, I don't do anything automatically. Again, maybe it's because I've been doing this since 1992. I'm slow to change, but again, using all the experience I have in using this pen, I could have made this whole law firm, in 5 minutes, and without converting anything, using anything automatic. I'm going to do it my own way, and it's not going to take me very long. Here's your tie off right here. Before you trim, you need some kind of a tie off, and there is your trim. Okay, do you see that? There is, and if I'm going to turn this off, if you zoom in on here, there is your tie off right there, and there is your trim is represented by the triangle. Okay, let's move along. Actually, I can only go till about 5 o'clock today, and for personal reasons here, we have somebody living here that needs help. So, but I want to there's more stuff I want to cover. Don't go anywhere yet. We got 20 more minutes, 18 more minutes, and we're going to cover some more stuff. Here's another design. I got permission. We're going to discuss some complex fill today, which is something else you're going to need to learn. And did I even save it? Nope. Shoot. Oh, we may not be using that one. Well, I'm going to just hide my screen for a second and just download something. I promise you it won't take long. In fact, I'll keep talking while I do it. I'm going to close this down and hide my screen and go back to my email. It'll just take me a second to download because it's worth it. It's worth it because it's simple. So we want to go here. Just don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, everybody. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, that's done. So I'm going back to showing my screen, and I'm going to, hold on, I have to turn off my email here. Okay. I downloaded, somebody sent me an AI file. I'm going to just go to Photoshop real quick, so bear with me. We did Corel before, now we'll do a little bit of Photoshop. And I got put it in a dummy directory here. So, well, maybe not. I hope so. Okay, here it is. Very simple design. It's got a basketball and a fill. We're going to open this up and import PDF. Those are the original. That's the original size it came in. It's about. I think that's actually the size that the customer wants it, around 3.5 wide. So. We have a basketball and some custom text, which I don't believe we have. So we're going to actually, if we were to do this, I would do this text just like I did before, right off the artwork, and it wouldn't take long. We can observe here that we're going to fill in the basketball. Usually you would, and it obviously looks like that was the intent when the person drew this up. We're going to stick with that, so we're going to fill it in. So we're going to go and save it. We'll save this PDF file as a JPEG. Now I'm going to put it in the correct directory. And save it as a JPEG. Just JPEGs are smaller raster images. I think that's why I save it in a JPEG. And we're going to say OK, and that's done. And now we're going to close down Photoshop. We're going to go back to, let me save this first. What's this called? The cello. So we're going to say, if I can type this in. Okay, we're going to save that and go to File and go to New. And we're going to import, I do some work for the Cavs. Yep. Yeah, it's tough to go for the Cavs nowadays. I am a big Cavs fan, and it's been tough to watch. Yes. Yes, if you ever If you've ever watched a Cavs home game on TV, you've seen my work somewhere. So we're going to say import and design here. We're going to go to that folder. You got good eyes. That's quick. I was only in there for a second, and you saw that. Okay, let's get this around. It'll come up. Yeah, okay. Here it is. That's what we want. Okay. Like I said, we made this in Photoshop, and it comes in very large for some reason. That's neither here nor there. There are two things I can tell you about that. If you go down here, it's another way to adjust the size of your design. We can just type in 23.99, or for whatever reason, that gives us the size of the original art. It blows it up about 4 something times the actual size. But let's go and undo that, and we're going to do what we did before. We got this art that came in, and the customer tells me they want a total of 3.5 inches wide. There are several different ways we can do that. We have this selected here. We can come down here. I'm all metric. One reason I'm all metric is let me show you something. When you're talking about the length of a running stitch, that the stitch it's in millimeters. Let me show you this. Hold on, we'll get something here. Okay, I hit enter. No, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, I just made myself a running stitch here, and we're going to click on hit the period here, and it shows you the actual stitch. The distance between here and here is 2.5 millimeters. That makes a whole heck of a lot more sense than it would trying to deal with that in inches. I'm not going to deal with it in inches because it's, the American system is pretty stupid, especially when you're measuring embroidery. You'll find just how awkward it is. So there's more to it than that in embroidery. So you can go and change that right up here. I have mine set to metric. I would suggest you do that also. Especially even when you're doing lettering, how big you want your lettering. Well, 5 millimeters is the minimum. Try dealing with that as percentage of an inch. You'll pull the rest of your hair out. So first thing we're going to do here is this basketball. And we're going to fill it in. And how are we going to fill it in? We're going to fill it in with a complex fill. So we're going to go back and start the way we did before. We're going to go select our manual stitch, and we're going to tie in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are now tied in, and we want to turn off the needle penetration. So we got something done there. Then what I do is I'm still going to use my running stitch over here to attach. Now it's even more important, now that we have a fill pattern here, to attach the backing to the fabric that we're sewing. We're going to put this in. This has more uses also, which I may show you later. I'm going to press. Doesn't that look nice? Let me hide the artwork. Isn't that nice? That's my design. Okay, we continue. Now we are going to show you a new stitch type here, tatami, which is a fill stitch. Fills in bigger sections of stitches, bigger areas like this ball here. And we're going to go to something called the complex fill. Like I said, I have been around since the early 90s, and this was the big to-do, this stitch type, when it came out. So now all I have to do, instead of going back and forth with the input A and a fill stitch, all I have to do is define any shape. Now this is a pretty simple shape, but the reason it's called complex fill, it can also be a complex shape. Maybe I'll show you one in a second, but for now we have to fill in this ball. So I'm going to right-click now. Left-click is for straight lines. Right-click is for curves. I'm going to do this, I think, in about 4 clicks. I'm going to fill in this ball. Define the area of the ball. Then I am going to you'll see what I'm going to do. So down here, down here, down here. You notice it's curving automatically. That's because I'm using my my left mouse button. Up here. Now I'm going to go down to here, and when I press enter again, that last point is going to join up with the first point. You ready for this? Ready for this? On the count of 3, I'm going to press enter. 1, 2, and 3. Look what it did. The last point joined up with the first point. Now I want all you people to look at the bottom left of my screen. It says enter point 1 and boundary 2. That would be a place where I would put areas inside where it's not going to sew. Maybe I'll show you that in a minute. We're not going to do that. We're just going to fill in this entire ball here. So what I'm going to do is press enter again, and we move on. I press enter again. Now we're getting somewhere. Enter entry point. Well, my entry point has to be down here because that's where I am. My current location is right here where that target is. And so that I can't start it up here. I can't start it up here. I have to start it there. So where's my entry point? Well, that's a no-brainer. It's going to be right here. The exit point all the way up here. Okay, why not? Because it's kind of the opposite. We're not going to end it up here because we don't want to have to sew up here and meet in the middle. So we're going to go nice and smooth from down here to up here. And we're going to press enter again. Oh, okay, what did it do for me? All right, first of all, I screwed a couple things up. I've lost track of what it's supposed to ask me for a stitch angle. So let's see if we can. We're going to do it again. First of all, I didn't set the right size here. Okay, it's blown up to almost 5 times what it should be. Let me just say, oh, I forgot to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how you fix something when you forget to do something right. I selected the whole design. I know the width. I want it to be 3.5, which is 89 millimeters. I'm just going to press 89 and be done with it. It wasn't that easy. I had the wrong size totally. I got the right size now, and it's just that easy. I'm going to go here and do this again. Complex fill and tatami with my right click here, right click there, right click here, right click, all the way down here and press enter. That's wrong, but we'll fix that in a second. Enter point 1 on boundary 2, no. Enter point, exit point. Now it's going to ask me for a stitch angle. We're going to go basically just across. So 2 lines to do your stitch angle. And we're going to go over here and go to my reshape object tool. And I can add more nodes here to fix this. Or I can even take nodes away. We're just going to move this around until it's perfect. And now it is. So with just that, it is perfect. We're almost done with this complex fill. We've got the ball here. We've got it defined. Now we're going to go up here where it says auto underlay. I didn't show you this before. I'm going to show it to you now. I have my manual underlay in there, also known as that running stitch. I'm going to go up here and press auto underlay and right click on it, and it comes up with this box. So first underlay zigzag. We don't want zigzag, we want actually tatami. It gives me 3 choices here, and that's what we're going to go with. We could actually add more, another section of underlay, 2 things of tatami, but no, we're going to say 1 is good enough. And I want you to look at what we have here. We have this circular or elliptical, whatever you want to call it, shape, and we have our manual underlay, and we have our automatic underlay. It helps fill it in. What is underlay besides helping to attach the fabric to the backing? It's also what I call a primer coat. Helps fill it in. Sometimes, even though I have this fill stitch and this automatic underlay, it still may not be big enough. It may not be enough fill. I may have to add more underlay. I may have to add more fill stitch. But let's assume it's good to go from here. So that's the white fill. Now we're going to go to a color 2 and start doing these lines. Now we're just going to go back to the input A eventually. First we got our manual stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've tied in. Now we go to this running stitch. I'm going to put some underlay in here, and we're going to travel to this point. Now we're going to go back to our input A right here, and we're going to go back at 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. We got one of those lines done. How many of you thought this was going to take some time to do this? Okay, what I'm showing you, because a lot of you might be beginners, is these are the simple stitch types, the simplest of all stitch types, but these are also the stitch types you use the most, and you can use these simple stitch types and make most of your designs. That's just kind of the way it is. I think this ball was just some clip art, I was told. Okay, we're just about done with the lines on the inside. What is the smallest satin stitch with? About 1 millimeter. And you've got automatic pull comp added here. Let me show you something. Pull comp is let me turn this off. Pull comp is the distance added. See that line here? There's the line, and there's an extra distance added. So, but when it's all said and done, the width between here, the distance between here and here should be about 1 millimeter. Some people may want to go smaller. You probably go smaller. That's just me. So we're not near that. It shouldn't be. But always measure. When in doubt, measure it. And if you're somewhere around a millimeter, be careful. You're looking at some thin stitches, because a millimeter, it's a millimeter. Let's see. Okay, let's just finish off this. We're going to outline this. Finish outlining the ball here. Yeah, we forgot this part right here. Left click, left click. I mean, left and right, left and right, left and right. Okay, and oops, sorry about that. We're going to make sure we have some kind of underlay going all the way around, all the way. Oh, we got another one we didn't do. Okay, now we can finish the. Now we can finish doing off this ball. Again, all it's going to be is right clicks, because it's circles. I mean, it's curves. I mean, you can see somewhere that's very thin there. I thickened it up a little bit. Maybe a little thicker is a little better. And press enter. And press enter. And oh, no, I didn't press enter there. We're almost done. We're almost done here. Almost done. Almost done. At least with this part. Okay, and I clicked it. Now that's we got the ball. We got a ball filled. We have a ball outlined. How long did that take? How long have we been doing this? Just a few minutes, right? Correct? Am I correct on that? So if we want to put these other goofy lines in here, just go to your next color, tie in. The only thing we have to be careful here is make sure we're not covering up too any of the lines. So here, let me show you something real quick. Very important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to run stitch over to here, and I don't like that. I'm going to move that over in here. And we don't want to, actually, I think this line isn't actually supposed to run into that red. I think that's just the way the artwork turned out. So we're going to come out a little bit. And it doesn't really, I don't think it really matters what order you do this. I mean, it's supposed to be like an atom or something. I don't know, but I don't think it really matters. Come around, stop there. This is all right clicks. Are you following the mouse? The reason that I think it's sometimes hard to see is I auto scroll a lot. Meaning I'll let the program move the design around. We can keep on going, I think. So, okay, it's about 5 o'clock. I'm going to continue on, even though it is 5 o'clock. I just want to finish this ball here. Any questions? Again, I can't. There are too many people here for me to turn on your microphones, but you can type at me if you like. And I want to show you quickly the other design I want to show you. Or actually, you know what I might do instead of that? Maybe we'll save that, do a different design tomorrow, because I'm back at this tomorrow with some different designs, and hopefully have some more bad artwork, because everybody likes when I digitize off bad artwork. Let me finish this, and then we're going to show you some more of the complex fill. Okay, we're going to stop that, and then we're going to finish this off. I'll show you how complex fill actually got its name. It certainly wouldn't be by doing round balls. Okay, if you want something you want covered, you can send me an email. Again, it's fmdigit@aol.com. That's F as in Frank, M as in Mary, digit, short for digitizing, at AOL.com, and I will do a tie off there, and we'll do a trim because we're going to do the text in the same color. Now, how long did that take? Not very long, did it? What I would also recommend is if you've got a ball and you want it to look round, here's what I do. Here's a quick trick. Because of pulling in, you may want to grab the whole round object and make it a little wider. So hopefully when it hits the material, it will be more round. So anyway, from there we just go on and do that text just like we did before. But while I got you, I'm going to, before I quit, we're going to show you complex fill and how useful this is. Let me go and find, I have an image in the training here, digitizing. Oh, we'll find it here somewhere. Bear with me. Stitch types, here it is. So there's an image in here somewhere. Okay, let me get rid of this stuff and show you what else you can do with complex fill. So let's say we've got this, I don't know what kind of shape, this blob here. You've got a star, and you've got a star here and a circle here. Let's say we're going to digitize this. We don't want to sew inside the circle and the star. So, let's say I'm digitizing it for real. We do a tie on here. Now we're just going to, I'll probably do my underlay here. Stop there. Now we're going to define this shape. I've got my complex fill as my input method and tatami over here. And I'm going to do this kind of haphazardly. I'm just going to right click because it's all circles, or it's all curves all the way around. And not going to go all the way in. I'm going to hit enter. I don't want to sew where the circle is, so I'm going to put a few more here. All the way here and press enter. The last point joins up with the first. And I don't want to sew where the star is. So I'm going to use my left click and define these points. And press enter. Once I'm done with that, I press enter again. So I press enter twice. It knows I'm done defining areas inside that shape where I do not want to sew. I'm going to press enter again. So where's my enter point? Well, you have to start here. We have to start here. Enter here. Where is the exit point? The exit point is going to be up here. Why not? It's going to start here and then here. Why not? I don't care. Enter the angle. Angle, yeah, pretty much a little bit of an angle to it. So we're going to do that. And that's what, look at how fast that was. It defined this somewhat complex fill, and it carved out the circle and it carved out the star very quickly. This was like back in the 90s, a big eureka breakthrough. Wilcom had it first. I don't know if they had it first, but they were one of the first that had this, and it worked well. I recall some digitizing systems. The command. Well, it was complex fill. It's complex fill in the setting. It's complex fill as an input method, and then up here we have the tatami stitch is the stitch type. So we can go true view, and that's what a tatami fill looks like, as opposed to a satin stitch. It goes back and forth. So yeah, this was a big deal when this came out way back when. Otherwise, you'd have to try to do all this with input A, and it would take all day. It took something that used to take quite a bit longer. Now all you got to do is define and outline it, tell where to start and end. It was almost like magic at the time. And even way back in the day when this came out back in the early 90s, I could recall Wilcom's complex fill working very well. Once it got done, sewing the shape, no matter how complex it was nice and smooth. You guys have any questions about that? Well, I still got you still on the complex fill. I mean, once you have that, you can go and put, and you get all your points back. Go over here and hit the node tool. You can start moving stuff around, and you can add more shapes in here. You can get rid of this. Just by deleting the nodes here, you can get rid of that. You can move stuff around. So just what you see here, it was not. You don't own it. You can change everything. You can even go and adding. See, this doesn't add. Let's say I want to go add the circle back. Well, all you gotta do is click on the node. Say, hey, I'm editing something. Okay, what are you editing? Well, I'm editing this complex fill over here. Okay, we have this node edits, and I'm going to click on this. And if you look at the bottom left of my screen, it says enter point 1 on boundary 3. Yeah, I'm going to go put this circle in here. So if you don't get it right the first time, it doesn't. I'm going to pull on backspace, enter, and there's a circle. How did you change a circle node to a square node? That's a very good question. Go. I didn't do it, but you can do that. I didn't do that, but here's how you do it. You've got the node here. You want to change it. It's a circle node right here. Hit the space key, and it becomes a square. You see the difference right there? The circle is it do change the square. I didn't do that, but yeah, you can do that. I didn't do that, but you can. See, I'm going to change a bunch of these and make it. So you can. It's a good question. You can go. Yeah, you can go modify anything. You can go make this into a big mess if you want. See, you can see it right here. Is those the nodes are a circle for the curves, and over here they are squares. So when you get good at this, you got to practice with digitizing. So, okay, I will show you. I show you. Let me get rid of it first. To put one back, let's get rid of this. I'm just going to marquee this. I've got that selected, the reshape. I'm going to marquee this and get rid of it. Okay, now watch closely. I'm going to go over here, select this big object here. I'm going to go and select reshape object and the complex fill. Now it knows we mean business. We're looking to change things. We've got this first. It's a sequence. This. And then this, and if you look at the bottom left of my screen, it says enter point 1 on boundary 3. Now it's time to put some more circles, to put boundaries in there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to press enter, and that last one joins up with the first one. Now it doesn't redo it yet, because we can go and put more boundaries in there. I'm going to add a triangle. And when I'm done adding these boundaries, I hit the enter key again. So 2 enters in a row, and it does it again. It defines it. Now, if I go back and hit this, the node tool again, or the reshape, here's my enter point, and here's where it exits. All this stuff can be changed. Now, when I first got this software, it wasn't even Windows. You didn't have all these wireframe gadgets. So you had to kind of redo it, but still, it wasn't bad. All this wireframe stuff came out, I think, when they came out with the Windows 95 version back in the later 90s. It was still a long time ago. It's been this easy for a long time, and they've been doing it well for a long time. So, okay, I got to quit because I got a guy upstairs in a wheelchair and needs some help. So let me go back to that outline before. If you guys want to send me any quick questions or I'm doing this again tomorrow night. Tomorrow at where's my outline? Digitizing outline 2. There's my email, fmdigit@AOL. Send me something real quick that you want to see for tomorrow. Boy, the time flew. And if you want to, the reason I have to go now is because I have to help somebody. It's supposed to go till 5, but we can go. I think so. I don't know if it's still too late or not. That I have no control over that. So, yeah, you can try. You can try. So, all right, there's my phone. So I will see some of you tomorrow, I hope. So again, if you want to have anything you want to see tomorrow, just send me an email. And that's about it, and thank you for coming.